My name is Jiang Che. The last second was trapped in the shell of Als. 7 years of survival on one finger. The next second, thus dragged into this. A world full of weird rules and strange stories. Don't wait for me to think about it. A strange electronic screen appeared in front of him. Blood Red's talent and difficulty are two big words. I tried to tap the talent button first. A turntable appeared out of nowhere. The S-grade area is as narrow as a hair. C-grade accounts for the majority. As a non-chief who eats the big guarantee all year round, I don't even bother to fantasize. Just don't be too garbage. The moment the pointer stops, the system prompt sounded. Draw once a day for free. Additional draws cost 2 sanity. With the mentality of breaking the jar, I pressed the difficulty button. The turntable turns again. I was desperate to the extremely small S-class area. I thought silently in my heart, don't hit it. But fate has to toss to death. Congratulations on the 1 in 10 chance of winning the S-level Strange Tale Alone dungeon. The mission survives for 7 days. Wait for Mom to come back. I didn't win the jackpot. It is an S-level monster story that is sure to die. I stood where I was. Silence is like a stone. This is damn non-chief luck. Even death has to give me the entire highest difficulty. I had no choice but to try to activate the talent. Directly came to a free draw. After a coin drop, there is an extra box of small umbrellas in my hand. The system even made up for me severely. Perhaps it can be used more than just humans, since talent is unreliable. You can only rely on yourself. That's when I discovered. Note was pressed under the calendar on the bedside table. I carefully picked up the note. It says 10 rules. 1. You are the only one at home. If you see someone else appear, don't respond. Immediately return to the bedroom and lock the bedroom door. 2. Never lift the black cloth. Don't let them see you. 3. There is enough food in the refrigerator. Please do not step out of your home during this time. The 4th mother will be back at 7 a.m. on the 7th day. If someone else knocks on the door halfway through, please do not respond. 5. Clocks in bedrooms and living rooms sometimes break. Please keep them consistent. 6. Be careful not to sleep during the day. Always keep the time in mind. 7. Close the curtains. Do not open. Don't let them discover you. 8. The 4th day. Mom's friends will come. Please entertain her. She will help you with some problems. 9. Between 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. Please stay asleep. Stay away from them. The rule note in my town. The brows twisted into a dead pimple. Contradictions in these 10 rules, like thorns stuck in my heart. Don't let anyone respond, but let me entertain my mother's friends on the 4th day. Let me close the curtains and hide from them. But he didn't say what they were. This rule is strange. It is simply to force people into a dead end. I pulled the heavy black cloth curtains tightly according to the rules. Most of the room instantly darkened. I took a deep breath. Reach for the bedroom light. The bedroom is perhaps the only safe area in this ghost place. As mentioned earlier, time is important. Now the calendar shows Monday, July 1st. Those 10 rules say it. Mom will be back in 7 days. That is from today. 7 a.m. on the 7th day. You will meet this so-called mother. But just knowing that time is useless. I need to find more clues. There could be only one broken note in this room. After rummaging, my eyes fell on the tin cabinet locked on the side. Looking at this rusty and tattered tin cabinet, think about it with your toes. There must be something important hidden inside. But I searched through the entire bedroom. I didn't even see the shadow of a password. I couldn't find anything in the bedroom. Then go to the living room. So I immediately walked towards the door. I took a deep breath. Unscrew the bedroom door. It comes into view is a large, outrageous living room. All the furniture is tightly covered with black cloth. Downright is blocked by curtains. Leave no gaps. That's when I saw the clock hanging on the wall. I glared at him coldly. The rules say that clocks sometimes break. The time in the bedroom and living room should be consistent. Mom showed up at 7 a.m. on the 7th day. Not a minute or a second away. If something goes wrong with the clock, I can't tell the time now. Treat fake mothers as real. That's how it's all over. I was thinking about how to find the 3rd clock. There was a sudden sound of footsteps behind him. I turned abruptly. A yellow Labrador was standing behind me with a yellow dog bowl in its mouth, whilst tilting his head to look at me. There is a note in the dog basin. The huge space is only the sound of my own heartbeat. I looked at the big yellow dog that suddenly appeared. The blood all over his body froze. The rules never say that there is a dog at home. This big yellow dog was the bait they sent after all. I can still help my partner. And on the note he came. What is written? The rules that can kill me. What makes my scalp tingle even more? I suddenly remembered the sentence in Rule 2. Don't let them see you. The dog that suddenly appeared. Can he see me? I trembled as I picked up the note from the dog basin. The text above is obviously a new rule. The dog in the house has no name. Don't name it. Don't admit what others call it. 2 dogs like to be active at night. No matter what movement is heard, don't pay attention to stepping on it. 9. There are only 3 at home if you feel scared to sleep at night. 9. There is only 1 dog in the house. Let him put the dog in the bedroom. 9. There is only 1 monkey in the family, and then drive it out after dawn. Yes, he has a pass and then kicks it out. 4. If before you enter the bedroom, the dog is in the bedroom, then please sleep in the living room tonight. 5. Please let the dog eat dog food and not something else. 6. Don't leave the dog hungry. Don't hurt it either. 7. If the dog is found to be starting to shed, don't panic. Collect his hair. Put it where he can't find it. 8. Dogs are the patron saints of the family. You can always trust him. 9. There is only 1 dog at home. Look at these new rules. I looked puzzled because there is no contradiction between them. It is also said that dogs are patrons. You can always trust him. This is completely different from the previous chaotic rules. At this time, the clock on the wall is unbiased. It is pointing at 12 noon. There was also a gurgling sound in my stomach at this time. I remember the 10th article of the previous paper, eat well, don't starve yourself. I immediately turned around and walked to the refrigerator. After opening, I was shocked to find that it was full of ingredients, definitely enough for me to eat for 7 days. The first 48 hours are the safety period. I have to hurry, but the living room is so big, it took a long time. Only find some daily necessities such as bandages and disinfectant alcohol. Neither the 3rd clock was found. I didn't find the password for the tin cabinet either. At last, my eyes fell on the closed door. Mom's bedroom. I was full of energy. Twist the handle, she screamed. A note floated out of the crack in the door. I picked up the note and looked at it. Blood all over his body instantly coagulated. There are actually new rules. 1. Save electricity. Don't waste it. 2. Please try to stay in a bright place. 7. They will see your things. 3. When encountering difficulties, you can ask your neighbors for help. 4. Do not move in the living room at night. 5. Don't trust dogs. 6. The home is safe. Don't let anyone in. 7. The door will block the monsters outside the door. This rule is really contradictory. Just now, I also said that dogs are patrons. Now, he is not allowed to believe him. It is necessary to save electricity and keep the light bright. You can find neighbors, but you are not allowed to go out. This is simply a series of multiple choice questions. Where is the rule of the strange story? This is clearly a logical trap filled with life, but right now, I can only bite the bullet. I pushed the door and entered my mother's bedroom. As soon as you enter the door, I smelled a faint perfume mixed with a faint musty smell. I touched the wall, pressed the switch, snapped. The lights are on, dispelled the darkness of the bedroom. I finally saw the whole picture here, and the weird appearance I imagined. Completely different. I wasn't in a hurry to find clues. Instead, he walked to the dresser first. The mirror is covered with a black cloth. The cover is tight. There is a photo of the buckle on the table. I picked up the photo and flipped it over. The background is a park. Woman in her 30s, sit on a bench, smiled very gently. I sat to her right, and that Labrador, it is lying in the middle of us. Is this what I call a mom? For the first time, I knew what my mother looked like. You can look at the 3 people in the photo. I always feel that something is wrong. Then, I turned around and opened the closet. There are just some ordinary clothes inside. I silently closed the cabinet door, but the moment the cabinet door closed, a strong sense of disobedience struck violently. I was killed. I slammed back and scanned the entire bedroom. Wrong, so wrong. This bedroom is full of Mom's things. There is no trace of his father. Not only here, the whole home runs from the living room to the kitchen. There is nothing about Dad. How can a family be without a father? Doesn't Dad exist at all? Or do you say he has become one of them? At this time the door, suddenly, there was a burst of Christmas. Another urgent dog bark. I walked over, saw that Labrador was sitting obediently on the ground, holding a dog bowl in his mouth. Looked at me eagerly. I looked at him. The rules say that dogs are patrons. There is no trace of his father at home. Could it be that he changed from his father? I hurriedly put this outrageous idea. Press down. Now is the time to think about this. I fill the dog with dog food. Then, look at the clock on the wall. It's 5:30 in the afternoon. The time with the bedroom is no different. 5.5 hours passed. The safety period is passing little by little. So I went back to my mother's bedroom. Keep rummaging through clues. In the first drawer of the bedside table. It's all clutter. Little value. I pulled open the second layer. Inside lies a thin piece of paper. Pick it up and take a look. It's actually an electricity bill. The household name is Jiang Che. From April 2017 to May 2027. I haven't paid my electricity bill for 10 years. The total arrears are 48 yuan. This power company is sick. It took 10 years to remember to collect debts, but The next second I couldn't laugh. The rules say to save electricity. One side fork asked me, you must stay in the light. This means I have to leave the lights on 24 hours a day. But this reminder said that the electricity bill would not be paid again. There will be a power outage. Once the power goes out, the whole house will fall into darkness. They will see me. The reminder did not say when the power would go out. The reminder did not say when the power would go out. It could be tomorrow. It could be the next hour. It may even be the next second. I squeezed the reminder slip. The knuckles come from. This time the bedroom lights suddenly flickered. I froze. The lights above the head of the townspeople. Fortunately, the lights just flickered. It returned to normal, but the sizzling sound of the current was like a life-threatening charm. Kept ringing in my ears. Half an hour later, I turned my mother's bedroom upside down. Finally found a key under the pillow. This is actually the key to the gate. Thereupon, I took the key and walked to the entrance of the living room. Behind the door is an unknown neighbor, or the existence that can help as mentioned in Rule 3, or a man-eating monster. Sky gradually darkened. The light outside the window is getting weaker. I glanced at the clock. It's 7 p.m. According to the rules, I have to be between 11 p.m. and 8 am on. Stay asleep. Stay away from them. So I hurried back to the bedroom. Sit down at your desk. Put all the rules and clues found today. All were written. The most terrible thing at the moment is the problem of electricity. Without electricity, there is no light. There is no light. It meant that I had to be exposed to darkness all day. By those who do not know them, this is simply a dead end. I came up with two options. The first scenario, rely on vending machines. Pull out life-saving things like generators. Don't make fun of me, just my waste chief's physique. Being able to pull out a flashlight is considered to be burning incense. Count on this. It's better to just lie down and die. What really saves lives is the second plan. The second scheme steals electricity from neighbors. The rules don't say you can't steal electricity. As long as I can touch the meter box, quietly pick up the neighbor's wires, that saves electricity and keeps the light bright. The dilemma is solved. Question 2. It was the tin cabinet with a combination lock in the bedroom. I always feel inside is locked. The key clues that can string everything together. The family turned upside down. I didn't even find a shadow of the password. The third problem is the neighbors. The rules say you can't go out, but now it seems to stick to the rules is to wait for death. Power outages and lack of clock. These problems have to be solved by going out. I can see through it now. This S-level ghost story. It is not at all for you to follow the rules. Instead, you need to understand the rules and use them. Even dancing on the tip of a knife. Break the shackles of the rules. Tomorrow is still within the golden 48-hour safety period. Once missed, it's hard to go out again. Night is getting darker. I only had one thought left in my mind. Tomorrow must go out. Live, no matter what. It's 7:55 a.m. I am holding the clock on the wall. I have been awake for half an hour, but he didn't dare to get up, although it is still within the golden 48-hour safety period. But there are pits everywhere in the rules. At this moment, I suddenly remembered the vending machine should refresh the number of free times. Sweepstakes. Congratulations on getting a prickly pear. The quality is average. It's unremarkable. There are many thorns. Being able to pull out some food is not considered a blood loss. 5 minutes are fleeting. The clock points to 8 o'clock sharp. I got up and pushed open the bedroom door. The yellow Labrador immediately held the dog bowl in its mouth, leaned over, so I filled him with dog food. I also finished breakfast quickly, then stuffed the screwdriver, pliers, and other tools into the bag. Anything inconspicuous may become life-saving props. Everything is ready. I pondered the details of the electricity theft. While walking towards the entrance, my fingertips just touched the doorknob. Labrador suddenly went crazy. I frowned and looked back to check myself up and down. There is no strange smell on my body. There is no strange stuff stuck. Could it be that he is fooling around again? Time is running out now. After today, the difficulty will skyrocket. It's hard to go out again. I suppressed my doubts and ignored him, but at the moment when I twisted hard, gentle one, but it made my hair stand on end. The voice came from outside the door. Xiao Kei's mother is back. Open the door quickly. My hand froze suddenly. Then he quickly retreated. Cold sweat dripped down his chin. There was a burst of hair in my heart. Mom should have come back at 7 a.m. on the 7th day. No one knocked on the door in the middle. It's only the second day. The thing outside the door is definitely not my mother. Open the door. Xiao Kei's mother didn't bring the key. The voice outside the door was still gentle, but this tenderness fell in my ears. It was more terrifying than any roar. I am dead on the door panel. Only then did I realize that the Labrador didn't bark at me at all. Instead, it was in the direction of the door. There was a violent slamming of the door. The door panel was shaken. Labrador barked in front of the door. The small body burst out with amazing power. The thing outside the door seemed to have lost patience. Only hysteria remains. Jiang Che quickly opened the door. You don't recognize your mother anymore. The sound of slamming the door was deafening. It seems that the door is about to crack in a second. 2 minutes later, the sound of slamming the door stopped abruptly. The corridor returned to dead silence. The dog's madness lasted for 5 minutes before it gradually subsided. The door was guarded with his ears pulled. The dog wags its tail and asks for credit. I put it down and touched its head. Not bad. Awesome work. Add more dog food to you at night. After appeasing it, I stood at the door and fell into deep thought. I was too careless. I forgot to observe through the cat's eye first. Golden 48 hours. It is relatively safe. Not absolutely safe. Every step after that is like walking on thin ice. I sat on the sofa and spent half an hour with the dog, confirmed that there is no movement outside the door. Only then did he walk to the door with it in his arms, saying that it has no meaning of calling. I put on the cat's eye myself, but the scene of the corridor instantly made my scalp tingle. The outside was shrouded in thick fog. I was calm. Gently twist the doorknob. A yellow note floated in through the crack in the door. Though I immediately closed the door, bent down to pick up the note. It says, 7 rules. 1. Neighbors are trustworthy during the day. 2. You can ask your neighbors for help, but after that, you can't refuse the neighbor's request. 3. Don't just eat what your neighbors give you. 4. You have 2 neighbors, 1 true and 1 false. 5. Real neighbors love to eat dog meat. Don't let rhubarb appear in front of his eyes. 6. Bring gifts when visiting neighbors. It is rude to go empty-handed. 7. Don't stay in the corridor for a long time. They will see you. I read these rules repeatedly. The more I looked, the more confused I became. Neighbors are trustworthy during the day. What about that night? How to distinguish between real and fake neighbors? True neighbors love to eat dog meat. Do fake neighbors want to eat it? And rhubarb. Could it be the Labrador in front of him? But the previous rule clearly says that it has no name. I don't have time to think about it. I took some fruit and put it in a plastic bag as a giftie. Take a deep breath. Twist the doorknob again. Pushed the door and walked into the dimly lit corridor. The other 2 rooms in the corridor are clearly visible. I walked to 1102. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw the meter box on the wall. I stood at the door of 112, gently tapped 3 times. Is anyone there? There were calm footsteps in the house. Soon stopped behind the door. A middle-aged man appeared at the door. Isn't this Jiang Che? Guests, I miss Uncle Zhang today. Come and see you. You kid must be greedy for the braised pork I made. Your mother went out to run errands. Just leave you alone at home. I'm afraid you can't even cook. Do you want to come to my uncle's house to live in the next few days? Uncle Zhang. No need to bother you. My mother taught me how to cook. There is enough food at home. I followed him to the living room, handed the fruit over. It's very different from my home. Sunshine wine and tea. Fragrance of tea is permeating. Extremely warm. Then I went straight to the point. I came here this time to get down to business. Want to trouble you. The clock at home seems to be broken. I would like to lend you a spare. Check the time. You wait. I seem to have one in my room. I'm going to look for it. After Uncle Zhang finished speaking, he walked into the bedroom. I was the only one left in the living room. I took the opportunity to scan around. The furniture is neatly arranged. The shelves are full of books. I can't see anything strange. Soon Uncle Zhang walked out with a clock. At the same time as handing it to me, he also handed me a mobile phone. The clock should work. I just don't know if it's accurate. You use my mobile phone to look at it. I wear a clock in town. I looked at my phone for a whole minute. The clock shows 10:06. The time on the mobile phone screen is also 10:06. Thank you, Uncle Zhang. The timing is punctual. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was secretly happy in my heart. At least for the time being, I got a reliable timekeeping tool. Never worry about clock failure again. What is there to thank for this? It's just a broken clock. The smile on Uncle Zhang's face suddenly faded. The tone was a bit tentative. Uncle Zhang has something else to ask you. You have to agree to Uncle Zhang. My heart instantly sank to the bottom. The trap of the second rule is still here. I borrowed a clock. Must agree to his request, even if the request is fatal. I suppressed the fear in my heart. It was deliberately casual. Uncle Zhang said, I've been a little greedy lately. I want to eat a human heart. Uncle Zhang suddenly laughed. The eyes turned blood red. The corners of the mouth cracked to the earlobes. The lights also dimmed. I almost peed on the spot, but I can't panic. In this S-level ghost story, here only testifies death. I took a deep breath, smile, and spit out a good word. The darkness that enveloped the room dissipated in the next second. Uncle Zhang hunched back to that kind appearance, said with a smile, Tomorrow, I will come to pick it up in person. Just kidding. It's a life-threatening charm. I forced myself to smile. and leave. The moment he turned around, the back was already soaked with cold sweat. The golden 48 hours have not yet passed. Yee is already so crazy. The safety period has passed. Isn't it to be swallowed alive? I stood in the corridor and calmed down. His eyes fell on the meter box next to him. I gritted my teeth. Safe now. The problem of electricity must be solved. Then I put on my gloves. The box. The lines inside are intricate. The craftsmanship that has not been touched for many years is a bit rusty, but I don't dare to be distracted. Fingertips flipped and flew. Just when I was sweating profusely and wanted to wipe off my sweat after work, a tissue was handed to me. A piercing chill creeps up down my spine. A beautiful woman stood on my right side with a smile. A familiar face came into view. It's the woman in the photo. Are you kidding? Today is only the second day. The rules say that Mom will not come back until 7 a.m. on the 7th day. Mom smiled and held my hand. The more I want to push harder, but I found that my wrist seemed to be pinched by iron tongs. The tone was gentle and terrifying. He said he wanted to take me home for medicine, but her hands were cold and piercing. The strength is outrageous. I struggled desperately, but I can't break free at all. I can only pretend to be submissive. Pull him home, but the body couldn't stop shaking. Closer you are to your door, the faster my heart beats. Just open this door. What greeted me was a catastrophe. My hand suddenly shook. The key fell to the ground. Mom looked down at the key. At that moment, I directly raised my leg and slammed his abdomen. I took the opportunity to break free, but his fingers still hooked my wrist, left with 3 bloody wounds. Since manpower cannot compete, then use talent. I used 2 sanity points. Summon a physical vending machine. The huge vending machine slammed into my mother's body. This is not enough. I didn't hesitate. Summon 3 more. 3 vending machines are stacked on top of each other. I nailed her to the ground. I broke free, pick up the key and prepare to open the door. But a slippery tentacle suddenly came out of the darkness. It entangled my hand. I looked at the tentacles. Cardiac arrest. He was alienated. I desperately tried to get rid of my tentacles. There was a terrifying impact behind him. 2 vending machines were torn apart. A huge monster figure appeared in the smoke. Red eyes flashed. What is this level of monster? Uncle Zhang compared him. It's just a younger brother. Looked at me. The eyes are full of play. It's like looking at a dying bug. The monster's tentacles pick up the key on the ground. A smoky corridor. The monster crushed the key in his hand in a fit of rage. Who would have thought? I can survive from that tentacle monster. It actually depends on the one-hand key to drop the bag. I leaned against the wall. The real key was wiped in his hand. How does it feel? You're the most brainless monster I've ever seen. As early as when he lowered his head to pick up the keys. I will use the little umbrella in my talent. The real key was dropped. That's it. Still, want to eat my heart. Dream. As everyone knows, I don't plan to go home. Mockery is fake. Delaying time is true. Then I slammed into the house. This is my escape route. There was a loud sound of tentacles slamming the door frantically outside the door. The door panel was deformed by the impact, but I can't care about the future, cause the scene in front of me made my scalp tingle. Brown plaid, short sleeves, gray trousers, and that familiar face, Uncle Zhang. It's Uncle Zhang again. How could there be a second Uncle Zhang in this building? The first 48 hours are relatively safe. It's all bullshit. I pretended to be indifferent and called out to Uncle Zhang. Exactly the same as when facing the first Uncle Zhang. He smiled and said that I was greedy for his braised pork. Walk into the living room. I just found out the layout of this 1203 is exactly the same as Uncle Zhang's house in 1210. Even the position of the sofa is not bad. The sound of slamming the door outside the door continued. I deliberately pretended to be confused. Ask Uncle Zhang if he heard a strange sound. He said it as a matter of course. It was the neighbor's dog barking. This sentence instantly sent chills all over my body. There are only 3 households on this floor. Neither of Uncle Zhang's families has a dog. Only I have a Labrador in my family. I asked which dog it was. He answered the question. He didn't ask. Just say that the neighbor's house is just a dog. Then he suddenly asked me, Xiao Ke, do you have a dog at home? I reacted instantly. This is a rule trap. And according to previous experience, it's definitely not a good thing to let him know about this. I immediately laughed and denied it. Said that there were no dogs at home. He was stunned for a moment and stopped asking. But I suddenly remembered that I had to give gifts to visit my neighbors. The fruit on his body is long gone. In desperation, he could only consume a little sanity. Summon vending machine draw. Hash, you can see what is being pulled out. I almost tense up. I could only bite the bullet and hand the small umbrella to Uncle Zhang. Just when I thought it was temporarily safe. You want to take the opportunity to get information. Uncle Zhang was holding a large pot of brightly colored braised pork. Come towards me, smile and call me to eat. On the other hand, there are rules. You can't just eat what your neighbor is doing. On the one hand, the same rule is to eat well. Facing the braised pork brought by Uncle Zhang. Even if I was hungry, I can only bite the bullet and refuse. I can't afford to gamble. Who knows what this pot of seemingly delicious meat is? What weird traps are hidden? Uncle Zhang didn't force it. I ate it directly, but the next scene stunned me. The corners of his mouth suddenly cracked from the base of his ears. A slippery tongue curled up the meat and swallowed wildly. After eating, the mouth returned to its original state. He also laughed and said that he didn't look good. Cold sweat behind me came out instantly, beating the bullet and embarrassing him to eat heroically. But there was only one thought in his heart, and hurriedly left. This Uncle Zhang is definitely weird. But the tentacle monster outside the door was still smashing the door. I couldn't go home at all. I can only cheekily say that I want to stay a little longer. Uncle Zhang changed back to his kind appearance. But suddenly a request was made. Uncle Zhang has been greedy lately. I want to eat a piece of dog meat. You send it to me tomorrow. My heart sank suddenly. The rules say that the neighbors like to eat dog meat? It seems so. This is the real Uncle Zhang in front of him. The difference between the fake Uncle Zhang and him is one loves to eat dog meat. A cannibal. I asked tentatively. I don't know what type of dog meat Uncle Zhang likes to eat, or which dog's meat. Uncle Zhang said indifferently, as long as it's dog meat. You remember to send it to me tomorrow. I agreed. Take the opportunity to set up more information. Uncle Zhang, I haven't been back for a long time. I want to talk to you about the neighbors. Unexpectedly, this sentence made Uncle Zhang instantly suspicious. Neighbor? What neighbors? Isn't my neighbor your home? Uncle Zhang looked at me suspiciously. You haven't been to school for long. How can there be only two of us on this floor? I forgot about it. It's strange. My heart skipped a beat. There are only two. Other words. In his perspective, that heart-eating Uncle Zhang doesn't exist at all. But I had obviously come into contact with that Uncle Zhang just now. He is absolutely real. The two look exactly the same. There must be something tricky in this. Fortunately, I reacted quickly. Zaid, that the school should write an essay about the neighbors. Toward the past. Uncle Zhang yawned. Zaid, with a sleepy face. I was woken up by your kid just now. I'm going to sleep. You can stay as long as you want. Listen to the faint roar coming from the door. I decided to wait a little longer. How long will you wait? 2 hours. Just to be safe. Let's wait 3 hours. 3 hours are fleeting. I looked at the intact door panel in front of me. I can't help but feel that this quality is really good. There was nothing unusual outside the door. Monsters slamming door and roar disappeared an hour ago, but I waited another hour before I dared to open the door. The door was pushed open. There was peace outside the door. The eerie fog flowed slowly. The dim chandelier still flickered. There is no monster in sight. Strangely, when we were fighting just now, the scattered vending machine fragments are also gone. It seems to have been cleaned by something. I dare not stay long. Run quickly to the doorstep, open the door, and close the door in one go. This time, I finally didn't encounter any obstacles. After entering the door, I completely relaxed, slumped on the cold ground. The heart is still pounding. Today is only the second day. It's already so dangerous. I can't imagine what the next 5 days will be like. When I was thinking wildly, there was a sudden knock outside the door. I exploded instantly. The curse is over. It's endless. It's only the next day. You weird people are so hardworking. Don't you need to rest? Knock on the door suddenly stopped. The things outside the door seemed to be scolded by me, but soon a familiar voice came. How did you talk to Uncle Zhang? Open the door. Uncle Zhang came to get something. Hurry up and promise Uncle Zhang. I have a sword. Uncle Zhang. Nearly she. Wasn't he sleeping? Wrong. There are two Uncle Zhang. This one outside the door. It is likely to be the fake Uncle Zhang, who loves to eat people's hearts. I made a sound attempt to get something. Don't tease, Uncle Zhang. You promised me popularity. Hurry up. Uncle Zhang was dying of hunger. It was indeed fake. I clearly said that I would come to get it tomorrow. It was only a few hours before it came to the door. The thing I hate most in my life is not keeping my promises. Didn't you say tomorrow? The time has not yet come. Let's talk about it tomorrow. I will use the drag word to decide. If you can't make a decision, drag it first. This is my survival experience over the years. As soon as these words came out, outside the door instantly became crazy. What? Obviously the time has come. It's already tomorrow. You are lying to me. An angry roar almost pierced the door panel. Nails scratched the door panel. Make a screeching sound. He was smashing doors like crazy. I could feel the door panels vibrating slightly. His anger can be felt through the door. More than 10 minutes later, the sound outside the door gradually faded. Uncle Zhang should have been defeated. Zoe went back to the bedroom. Sit at your desk and record today's events. The two problems of neighbors and shops have been solved. Now, There are two that look exactly the same, but Uncle Zhang has a very different personality. I owe them all their requests. One is to win people's hearts. One wants dog meat. Now, I can't take it out. It can only be postponed later. And Uncle Zhang, who loves dog meat, doesn't know the existence of the other. By reasoning, those who love to eat people's hearts should not know him. This is strange. For now, the door is really strong. It should be true that the rules say that the home is safe, at least safer than outside. I have got the clock. I compared it with the 2 clocks at home. The time is consistent. Electricity was also stolen, although I am lucky today. But the harvest is quite full. 8 a.m. on the 3rd day. I'm still stuck on getting up. I felt my body. The feeling of weakness is still there. Open the personal panel. Sanity was restored to 85 after one night. It only resumed at 5 o'clock in one night. This is too slow. Accompanied by the sound of coins falling, an item flies out of the shipping port. Windproof technology can meet the ignition needs in any bad weather. The cry of a Labrador suddenly came from the living room. It's now the 3rd day. The first 2 days have been spent safely. It would not be surprising if anything happened again. I walked over and found out he actually ate everything in the trash can. I am reminded of Rule 5. Please let the dog eat dog food, and not something else. I thought to myself, I can control myself to feed it only dog food, but what about itself? It is indeed an S-level strange story. There is such a rule that must be violated. I quickly found a thick rope, tied it firmly to the water pipe in the utility room. Looking at it, that was tied up, and could only make a sound. I wasn't happy at all. At this time, a familiar voice came from outside the door, but the content is different from what I thought. Jiang Che, open the door. Uncle Zhang came to get the dog meat. Don't. This time it was the real Uncle Zhang who loves dog meat. Between the real Uncle Zhang and the fake Uncle Zhang, what kind of connection exists? Jiang Che, Uncle Zhang came to get the dog meat. I didn't pay any more attention. Turn around and go back to the bedroom. Pick up the book you haven't finished reading at night, and continue to read it. Password must be hidden in this book. I was just about to go out to the bathroom, but I saw a woman standing in the kitchen. It turned out to be my mother. A powerful palm. Suddenly it was on my shoulder. I didn't hesitate in the slightest. The vending machine was summoned directly. Mother in the kitchen rushed towards me in a flash. I threw a punch at her. Mom was like a punctured balloon. It flew out suddenly. I took the opportunity to rush back to the bedroom, calmly comb through everything that just happened. After waiting quietly in the room for an hour, I carefully pushed open the bedroom door. Only the vending machine I summoned was left in the kitchen. Everything else has long since disappeared. I walked to the vending machine. Look at the shipping port. There was something lying quietly inside. Item vodka. The quality is average. When I fought monsters in the corridor before, 5 vending machines were summoned. As a result, it was all blown up before the lottery could be drawn. Loser. 5 sanity points in vain. It's just a blood loss. When I was about to go feed the dog lunch, didn't expect to push open the door of the utility room. The scene in front of me made me freeze instantly. The rope that was originally tied to the dog's mouth fell to the ground. There are also clear bite marks on it. I noticed on the floor of the utility room, there is something yellow. It's dog hair. It started to shed. I put away the scattered dog hair, but I always feel that something is wrong. Labrador is dead and clinging to me. The emotions in his eyes are complicated. I quickly closed the door, leaning on the door panel and gasping for breath. It wasn't he who scared me, but at that moment, his eyes were like humans. At this time, there was another knock on the door. Jiang Che, give me a heart quickly. I can't stand it anymore. A piercing pain suddenly hit his chest. I could barely breathe. Beads of sweat slipped down his forehead. I could only grit my teeth. Walked back to the bedroom with force. Slumped in my chair, gasping for breath. Is this the price of breaking promises? Half an hour passed. I barely got better. Began to think about the relationship between the two Uncle Zhang. The two Uncle Zhang always appeared at staggered times. Absolutely not at the same time. This shows that they are likely to be the same person. Rule of 4 clearly states that I have 2 neighbors. Then these 2 Uncle Zhang should not be the same person. I faintly felt relationship between these 2 Uncle Zhang is crucial to crack this rule of the word, but there is always a key point missing. Just like cracking the password to the vault now, I feel like I'm definitely overlooking something important. So, think differently. If I'm the one who sets the password, how to hide the password in the book? I looked at the book again. Focus on the pages of the folded corners. I thought of the number in the book. 13, 22, 57, 2056, 1219. It looks complicated. In fact, there are only 3 135,719 that are useful, because except for these 3 numbers, 10, or single digits of the remaining numbers. There is at least one even number, and these 3 numbers are all singular. So there are only 2 possibilities for the final password: 135,01719 or 195,01713. I enter my first password, 135,719. Twist the knob. The cabinet door did not open. See this scene. I was even relieved. Enter the second password, 195,1713. The door of the tin cabinet that had been closed for a long time was opened. I looked at the slightly open cabinet door. An incredible feeling came to my mind. That's how it opened. In such a simple way. And it's the method I used as a child. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I comfort myself like this. I took out the notebook from the cabinet. Can't wait to flip through it. The handwriting on the first page is crooked. The diary treasure man is called Xiao Jiang. His diary was filled with excitement about his mother's departure. Snack until you get tired of it. Play with toys until late at night. Completely leave the rule of going to bed on time. But when I saw the name Xiao Hai, my back was instantly covered in cold sweat. The yellow Labrador at home. Could it be the little black in his mouth? But he is obviously yellow. Turn to the second page. Something even more terrifying has appeared. A strange child named Jiang Che appeared out of thin air in the locked room. He and Xiao Jiang are called brothers. I looked at the word Xiao Che. Tightness in the throat. This is clearly hinting at me, or to imply everyone who enters this strange story. I finally found a fatal flaw. Xiao Hai conjured up a big bag of snacks for Xiao Jiang out of thin air. Past is strange, but I ate it with relish. Combine the rules. Tips for having and only one dog at home. A terrible conjecture took shape in my head. That's not a snack at all. It's dog food. Dogs are eating what people eat. He will also speak the other way around. Will a person become a dog? I am reminded of the rate of hair loss in Labradors. Faster and faster. Dog hair in the utility room. It's exactly the same as the description of Xiao Hai's hair loss in the diary. Where is this diary a record of the past? It's clearly my death preview. I can't turn into a dog. Absolutely not. Imbaiji Xiaojiang has begun to use tentacles as toys. Treat red eyeballs as leather balls. His cognition has long been distorted. I turn to the last page of my diary. All sweat instantly soaked into the palm of his hand. Xiaojiang can't remember what day it is. Xiao Hai told him that this was the 6th day, but he slept twice a day. This is simply not common sense. Is a day really 24 hours? I suddenly realized time in this strange story, perhaps not linear at all. It may be accelerating, even being manipulated by some force. The end of the record. Xiao Jiang heard his mother's knock on the door. Xiao Hai said it was fake. But when the door is actually open, Xiao Hai threw himself into his mother's arms. In the end, my mother called Xiao Jiang and Hubob. At this moment, suddenly, there was a dog barking outside. I was so scared that I shivered. The laptop fell to the ground. The door to the utility room was closed. The originally clingy Labrador. At this moment he was lying on the ground. Most of the hair on its body has fallen out. There was no enthusiasm in his eyes. I bent down to clean up the dog hair all over the ground. These hairs are outrageous. Compared to the little black of the river in the diary, more than twice as fast. The S-level difficulty really lives up to its name. Stolen electricity is never safe. You have to prepare a backhand light source. So I planned to disassemble the vending machine. It took an hour to disassemble. Finally got the lead tube, but accidentally cut a wire just as I was about to tinker. There was a power outage. And my heart instantly rose to my throat. A cold breath instantly enveloped me. Finished. They're coming. The warning in the rules came true. In the dark, they will see you. I instinctively rushed towards the bedroom in my memory, but it seemed like I was stuck in a muddy swamp under my feet. Every step is difficult. The touch of delicate years climbs up along the trouser legs. This is not a silent living room. It is clearly a weird carnival venue. I finally gritted my teeth and broke free. Finally touched a cold doorknob. A chill spread down the palm of his hand. The surrounding commotion gradually subsided. I was about to turn the handle. A crisp dog bark suddenly pierced the darkness. Round. I suddenly summoned a vending machine. The moment the lead tube lights up, I saw the blood-colored pattern on the door clearly. This is not a bedroom door at all. To my mother's room. I don't dare to stay. Use the light to find the direction of the bedroom and run wildly. But just 2 steps. I suddenly looked back at the vending machine. They can knock down vending machines. I accelerated like crazy. The vending machine collapsed. The light dissipated instantly. Darkness reigns over everything. Wait for me to react. I touched the familiar cold handle in my hand again. I actually returned to my mother's door. This is not a coincidence at all. It was they who wanted me to open this door at all costs. See, what exactly is hidden in Mom's room can make them so crazy? weirds no longer disguise. A piercing roar pierced through the eardrums. My sanity plummeted at a rate visible to the naked eye. Keep going like this. Don't wait for them to do it. I'll go crazy first. Then the vending machine. They will just knock it down. Poor a waste of sanity. Open the door of my mother's room. That's even more self-inflicted. The light of the lighter is too small. It is not used at all. Just when I was on the verge of despair, a thought burst out. I took out the vodka I had drawn and took a sip. The cold alcohol burned the throat. The madness caused by the decrease in sanity makes me tingle. Wei was angry. He snatched the bottle and smashed it on the ground. Vodka was splashed on a black blanket. I looked at the wine on the ground, suddenly took out a dua lighter and lit it. The moment the flame touches the vodka, with a bang, the raging fire swept through the living room. In an instant, the strange let out a shrill scream in the firelight. The black mist is steaming, the weird writhing wildly in the fire. I walked to the bedroom with the embers on my feet. The fire dragged my shadow for a long time. If you want to live in this strange story, it has to be crazier than weird. The electricity is coming. Blinding incandescent lights fill the bedrooms. My eyes suddenly opened as I looked at the Labrador show. You want to replace me, but it's too urgent. I closed the door. Disinfect wounds on your hands in the bedroom. The tingling sensation made me gasp. Although it is dangerous tonight, but I figured out the details of the dog. He is the patron saint. I can see the strange. It also protects the house, but it is also subject to rules. Not completely bound. This will reluctantly extinguish the fire. I walked out of the bedroom, instantly shocked by the changes in the living room. The original black carpet was burned, revealing the floor covered with blood-colored patterns underneath. The house seems to come to life. What's even weirder is that mom's door, bedroom door, gates, and black curtains. It was not affected by the flames at all. These 4 places are definitely the heart of the house. I was getting ready to go back to the bedroom. Self-light is sudden. Attracted by a vending machine in perfect condition. Unexpectedly, there was a kitchen knife at the shipping port. The blade has a cold luster. The introduction says that it is made of peerless black iron. Iron is as smooth as mud. I put away the kitchen knife carefully. Glanced at the time. It's not too early. I opened the personal panel. Sanity value shows 76. After tonight's fierce battle, it can still maintain this value. It has exceeded my expectations. Tonight's game is not small. Now, everything is ready. Just wait for Uncle Zhang to come to the door tomorrow. I woke up on time at 8 o'clock. His eyes were bloodshot. In the first half of the night, I always heard vague strange noises. Until the second half of the night, the sanity value rises to 80. The auditory hallucinations finally disappeared. I wiped the bedroom doorknob. Uneasiness in my heart came like a tide. I always feel that there is something terrifying hidden outside the door. I went through the clues and rules again. No omissions were found. I can only bite the bullet and open the door. As soon as I got into bed, I drew a prize. As expected, I only got a bottle of pirated Lai. When I came to the kitchen, the sight in front of me made me stiffen. The dog actually stood there, also held a plate of egg-fried rice in his hand. I suddenly felt fine yellow hair sprouting from my arm. So, I clenched my kitchen knife and rushed over. The dog hurriedly raised the bowl in his hand to resist. The bowl was split in half by a kitchen knife. The injured dog is sorrowful, but he didn't flinch. Instead, he condescended to me. I didn't dare to delay and swung my knife immediately, but his speed is amazing. I chop randomly. He can't even touch his side. I felt my strength draining. His alienation continues. If I drag it any further, I will eventually become a dog. I'm still a little short, but can't wait. I didn't know what was wrong with it, but it changed the subject. It's better to make a deal. You bring in your neighbors. I replaced him. Let him turn into a dog. We are a win-win. Good idea. Why don't you go to his house? At this moment, there was a sudden knock on the door. Yes, Xiao? Okay, I'm here to get the dog meat. A familiar voice sounded. It's Uncle Zhang. My heart sank suddenly. But it also means a more dangerous 3-way game is about to begin. Xiao? Okay, I'm here to get the dog meat. Don't lie to Uncle Zhang. The hair on my body stood on end instantly. He lowered his head and held his left hand twisted into a dog's claw. Just one day. Alienation is so serious. The S-level difficulty really subverts the rhythm in the catalog. In the diary, it took 7 days for Xiao Jiang's dog to completely change. But the yellow Labrador in front of me is locking me with a pair of eyes. I slowly move towards the door. You're right. There is no need to fight to the death. Trick the neighbor into using it as a substitute for the dead. We can both live. Dog licked the blood on the corner of his mouth. Finally opened the nest. Tell me how to deceive. The dog ostensibly talked to me, secretly, but quietly retreated towards the bedroom. As soon as I open the door, it will immediately burrow into the bedroom, make me the only dog in the living room. At that time, Uncle Zhang will be the one who wants to hunt. I secretly scolded this dog for being cunning. On the surface, it pretended to be seriously disgusted. I opened the door and called him to come in and drink water. You take the opportunity to sneak attack. I twisted the doorknob violently. Uncle Zhang, outside the door, just showed half of his figure. The dog couldn't wait to rush towards the bedroom. I immediately summoned a vending machine, hit him directly on top of his head. Uncle Zhang saw a dog near the bedroom. His eyes instantly turned blood red, rushed over like a madman. I didn't notice me hiding behind the door at all. I rushed out of the room. Also, close the door, intimately lock the two monsters in the house, and fight. Listen to the deafening roar from inside the door, and the sound of heavy objects hitting each other. I leaned against the cold wall of the corridor. He smiled bitterly. Alienation has temporarily stopped, but the gamble has just begun. My sanity is slowly declining. His temples jumped straight out. I sat down against the cold wall. His eyes were full of despair. This dilapidated building is simply a prison cage. There are neither elevators nor stairs. The walls are smooth, and no climbing traces can be found in. The danger in the room is terrifying enough. Outside, maybe there is something more terrifying than my mother lurking. Now the only hope, it is pinned on today, on my mother's friend. In the notes, Xiao Jiang was blocked by Xiao Hai. Didn't open the door for her. This shows that she is likely to be beneficial to people. But if she doesn't come until the afternoon or evening, I probably won't be able to wait for that time. The roar inside the door became weaker and weaker. The dull crash turned into the sound of a dragging spine. Obviously the winner has been decided. I am dead at the end of the corridor. Pray that Mom's friend will show up soon. Just when I was about to be swallowed up by despair, suddenly noticed the blood-colored door on the opposite wall has changed. The door has always been eerie. At this moment, the pattern around the door began to twist and deform. It emits a faint blood-colored fluorescence. At this time, the dog was holding a red-haired monster in his hand. He casually threw out a red-haired monster. That is Uncle Zhang's real body. The dog's eyes were locked on me, the corners of his mouth hooked up with a permeating smile. You are very smart, but let's go home obediently. A patron saint is needed in the house. You're right. The family really needs a patron saint, but I'm used to being a person. You should be the one to do this, dog. The dog was obviously stunned. Probably didn't expect me to be able to say so much when I was about to die. Then he burst into laughter. Me too. Being a person is not enough. He didn't finish speaking. The corridor suddenly burst out with dazzling blood. A pound of power suddenly awakened. The blood spreads like a tide. The eyes engulfed the entire corridor. The smile on the dog's face instantly froze. Greed in the eyes is replaced by extreme fear. The whole body trembled violently. The fog in the corridor instantly cleared. A woman came over. Jiang Che, did you come out to pick me up? Hear the sweet female voice. My heart that was hanging in the eyes of the noisy person instantly fell in half. Mom's friend finally came. This voice is soft. It sounds like a young girl. My eyes crashed into a marvel. Breathing subconsciously paused. The woman in front of him looked only 17 or 18 years old, like a blooming blood rose. It is amazing. A trace of inexplicable weirdness and uneasiness lingered in my heart. This beauty is too ostentatious. It's too unreal. Ha ha, Xiao Ho, did you come out to pick me up? My heart that was hanging in my throat suddenly fell more than half. Simply overjoyed. Mom's friends are here. I'm in a daze. She pretended to be angry. Jiang Che, how? Why are you stupid and don't welcome me? These words pulled me back all of a sudden. How could it be? Welcome, welcome. Of course you are welcome. She covered her mouth and smiled softly and deliberately teased me. You must have coaxed me. Even the sister refused to call. And I'm leaving. I felt anxious. If she really leaves, the dog behind me and Uncle Lee must not swallow me. So, I immediately squeezed out a smile. Sister. Good, sister. My own sister. I sincerely welcome you. She smiled so hard that her eyebrows curled. Count your sweet mouth. Let's go. We go in. I was about to turn around and lead the way, but I saw a scene that I would never forget in my life. The dog is a few seconds. It turned back into the original cute Labrador. Eyes clear. It also has a bit of flattery. Uncle Zhang, he quietly crawled slowly on the ground with his palms. The body squirmed, as if he was afraid of disturbing anyone. At this moment, he has climbed out 8 meters away. I looked down at my palm. The left hand, which had been twisted into a dog's claw, also returned to its human form. Mom's friend is also too powerful. As soon as he came, he suppressed all the weirdness. She walked to the door, rubbing the dog's head. We go in. Dog's eyes instantly burst into surprise. The tail wagged quickly. But this rhubarb made me stunned in place. I am still a little short, but it can't wait. It can speak human language. Cannibalism. Walk on both feet. What is missing? At this moment, the answer suddenly became clear. He is still one name short. Now he got the name Rhubarb. It means that all the alienation conditions are all together. He completely owns the capital to become a person. My scalp went numb. The dog was still one step away from before. It already made me feel dangerous. Now, he has everything. In the future, there will be many terrorists. But the sister in front of her didn't care about this. Still, teasing the dog carelessly, I could only whisper, "Sister, he is not called Rhubarb. He is not called Rhubarb. So what is his name?" The dog glared at me with its seemingly docile eyes, but there was a strong, murderous intent hidden in his eyes. He is a dog. He doesn't have a name. I forcibly ignored that fond gaze, gritted his teeth and said, "There was only one thought in my heart. Must not be completely alienated, even if it's just for a moment." My sister suddenly smiled. "Jiang Che, you are really interesting. He should have a name. Then, he is not called Rhubarb. Is it called Jiang Che?" These words struck me like a thunderbolt over my head. In a joking tone, he does, biting coldness and contempt. It also has an unquestionable authority and power. The invisible pressure enveloped me like a tide. My chest was so tight that I could hardly breathe. Fear climbed down the spine to the back of the head. It gives me chills. This seemingly gentle and easy to get along sister. In fact, it is domineering to the extreme. Her strength is obvious to all. I'm afraid it's easier to pinch me to death than to pinch an ant to death. What's more, I still have to ask for her. She is my only backer at the moment. Once you anger her, I simply can't afford the consequences. The most important thing at the moment is to stabilize this sister. As long as she is there, even if the dog has the ability to turn the world around, he doesn't dare to make a mistake. Just joking with my sister. His name is Rhubarb. My sister touched my head with satisfaction. The temperature of the fingertips is slightly cool, but it made me tense. It's really good. The two words fluttering lightly are like a pardon. My hanging heart finally fell to the ground. As soon as I got home, I cooked for my sister. This is the most hearty meal I've made in the past few days. Scrambled eggs with tomatoes, braised pork with shredded pork with green peppers. I raise my cup, sighed, with emotion. "Sister, I swear, as long as you want to stay here the next 3 days, even if I am a cow and a horse, I will serve you well. If you don't say it, I'll do it." For saying that, I raised my head and drank it all. Show heroism, but I hope that she can agree to stay. Well, Jiang Che cooks really well. Her words of praise made my heart bloom. Then so satisfied. Catch time by the forelock. Ask cautiously, "Sister, I see you like it here too. Next 3 days, do you want to stay?" This is my biggest concern. As long as she agrees to stay, I was able to spend 3 days in peace. Wait until mom comes back. Well, I want to think about the future 3 levels. Unexpectedly, it was at this moment a violent knock suddenly came from outside the door. The anger in my heart surged up instantly. Why did this fake Uncle Zhang come so quickly? Don't you see that I'm doing something big? But the next moment, a strange female voice came from outside the door. But the blood in my body instantly froze. "Is Jiang Che at home? I'm Aunt Zhang. Your mother asked me to take care of you for a day. Open the door quickly." Aunt Zhang's shout outside the door was like an ice needle plunged into my heart. The body froze in place instantly. She is still beautiful, but that ultimate beauty. At this moment, there is an inhuman weirdness. The situation is not right. That's not right. I desperately tried to trace back the details of the past. She never personally admitted that she was a friend of her mother. It was my wishful thinking from beginning to end. Am I sure it's her? But because she appeared at the most critical moment, just shouted my name, Jiang Che. You really believe that the one outside is true? Why did I conclude that she was fake just by a few words? I have never met my mom's friend. Why can't you be a young old friend? Not to mention, after she appeared, Uncle Lee was driven away. Dog is suppressed. My alienation stopped completely. These are real changes. More critically, the personal panel in front of me is clearly displayed. Sanity is slowly rising. If she is weird, my sanity only keeps dropping. Aunt Chang outside is fake. A routine with a fake mother. I want to open the door. Was about to respond to her, but suddenly froze. When have I opened the personal panel? I have never actively summoned a personal panel. So I opened the panel. Sanity 76. This is my true sanity. How does my good brother want to go out? You don't believe my sister? I immediately summoned 5 vending machines. I didn't expect these vending machines to hurt her at all. I have already experienced the strength of this sister. All I want is a short delay of a few seconds. Drag me until I open the door. Pull Aunt Zhang outside in. I ran towards the door with all my might. There was only one thought in my mind. Run a little faster. Just open the door. There is a glimmer of hope, but the cruelty of reality is far beyond my imagination. Those 5 vending machines, it didn't even play a role in blocking it. It didn't affect him sitting in the chair at all. until I get close to the doorknob. He smiled at the corner of his mouth. Lap. Slowly, a soft sound, like the horn of death. The scenery in front of me was instantly distorted. The door that was close to the ruler disappeared out of thin air. Meanwhile, the blood umbrella suddenly opened. Those 5 vending machines. It was as if he had suffered the great force of Mount Tai. Explosion in an instant. I froze in place. The whole body is cold. An extreme despair surged in his heart. I know I lost. Losing is a complete defeat. She walks slowly towards me. Every step falls. It's like a boulder hitting my heart. I want to step back. I want to hide. But a sad discovery. Own body. It was as if it was nailed in place by an invisible nail. I can't move at all. I could only watch her approach step by step. Watch death come step by step. She walked up to me. Gently lift my chin with your slender index finger. The coolness of my fingertips touched my skin, but it made me feel like I fell into an ice cave. The stunning face of Chi is close. At this moment it is like a deadly ghost. My pupils shrank slightly. Cold sweat soaked his clothes. The brain is running wild, searching for any possibility of survival. But the more I think, my face became paler and paler. In the face of such a terrifying existence, all calculations, all the messengers, all lose their meaning. She just looked at me who was struggling so lightly. Jiang Che, do you want to live? Of course I want to. These 4 words almost blurted out. It is like listening to celestial music, and the ears are temporarily clear. I was instantly overjoyed. Not afraid of weirdness. I am afraid that it will be unreasonable. As long as she is willing to communicate with me, I have the opportunity to rely on my tongue. Find a way out for yourself. As long as I still have use, you won't die. A strong desire to survive erupted in my eyes. Even if I am asked to do something against the principles, I am also willing. But her next sentence, but it made me dumbfounded for a moment. Then tell me, why should I let you go? I froze in place. Brain went blank. This is completely different from the script I expected, but I don't hesitate. Beat the bullet and speak, because I am valuable to you. She looked at me with interest and said, oh, what value? My brain is racing, but I was at a loss. To survive, I could only bite the bullet and swallow it. I can help you with things. Her face instantly turned cold. The killing intent around him suddenly became strong, obviously extremely dissatisfied with this answer. Then tell me about it. What can you do for me? Feeling the killing intent that almost swallowed me, I knew it was her last tolerance for me. If you can't give a satisfactory answer, death must greet me. Even a cruel ending than death. Well, you still have a minute left. 1 minute. The countdown begins. My face turned pale. The brain is like a machine running at high speed. Countless clues collide and intertwine in my mind. 25 seconds. Her voice sounded again. I was stunned in place. 24 seconds. The countdown to death echoed in the room. The murderous intent in the air could not be dissolved. Countless pale arms stretched out around her. A sea of blood surged around. The wronged soul mourns. At the moment of a critical moment, I suddenly came back to my senses. You can't kill me.